Hey, Mohammed and I are going to talk about this thing, which is the puck rake, which is a little thing that we've invented to help you make better espresso.
All right, I have been to many coffee shops in my life. I don't think I've seen that.
That's right.
At many places.
Right. So when people grind, what actually happens is they make a little mountain out of their coffee grinds, right? And this is my favorite when people tamp in midair. We call it a flyby tamp, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to do that. But what you generally will see is they take their mountain and then they like tap it like this, or they fiddle like this, all sorts of stuff to try and get those coffee grounds to be flat. And the reason is when you squirt 9 bar of pressure through that's 140 pounds on every little inch.
Yeah.
And any little defect in that coffee puck is going to show up on the other end as squirting, is what's called channeling. Okay?
Yeah.
So the single best way to make better espresso is to somehow get those fluffy coffee grounds to be nice and even like a cloud.
Yeah.
Okay? That turns out to be super hard. So if you put coffee beans in and you start fiddling with your finger or a spoon, you're compressing things.
I feel personally attacked. I do all of these things you're saying.
Totally. Well, don't do it in front of me, because I will hurl. All right. So I've been working on this problem for a long time, and what I found out was, give me that.
That looks really simple, though.
It is super simple, but in its simplicity belies incredible complexity in R&D.
Okay.
All right, because these bend. Why do they bend? Because they are acupuncture needles and they are incredibly precise. These are actually 0.4 milliliters, not 0.35. We tested those, not 0.6. Those were too thick. 0.4 milliliters.
What does this thickness,
okay,
why does it matter?
And the reason it matters, and you're going to see it in a second, is when I brush this through coffee grounds, you're going to see the coffee grounds just move a little bit. And what we did is we tested, and at 0.6 millimeters in thickness, this started to shove the coffee grounds and actually create craters.
Yeah, so you don't want that, you just want to
just make it into a nice fluffy cloud. And what we found is at 0.3 millimeters, this just actually went right through it like nothing.
Doesn't do anything.
It doesn't actually move anything. So 0.35, 0.40 were the only sizes that actually work. Now, it has to be really, really accurate. This thing's very light. It's very simple in the end. And we're going to make some coffee pucks, and I'll show you the technique. But what we call this is puck raking. There's another technique called WDT, Weiss distribution technique, which is very closely related to
German.
Yeah, so it's actually John Weiss is a computer science guy and a coffee guy who developed a technique of basically breaking clumps up. So if you've got a coffee grinder that basically spits out rabbit poop into the portafilter, right, in terms of big clumps, you got to do something.
Right.
Because those clumps are going to have air holes everywhere, and if you try to make coffee with that, it's a disaster.
Right.
So if you have a grinder that does that, you're going to want to go deep and really move it around. Now, a lot of people on the internet use things like toothpicks or, I don't know, things I don't want to even talk about, big stirring things. And if they actually look at their shots, they're just making disasters. So pros, when they see people fluff around, faff about forever, they just start rolling their eyes, because well known that the more that you fiddle with that puck, the worse you make it.
Right.
You want to just do something good and quickly and move on. And so puck raking is on the surface, WDT is deep. Now this tool will do both. So what's going to happen is we're going to get a little mountain of coffee grounds out of this grinder.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do then is try and distribute it really gently so it's level.
Okay.
And then finally we're going to do a gentle
that one. That's what I hear at the cafe.
But a really gentle tap, not a heavy one, and not right.
Okay.
That's bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a gentle tap, and then we're going to look and see whether we did a good job or not.
Okay.
And as you get better at that, your coffee is just going to get way better.
And my understanding is that the machine tells you as well when you did not do a good job. Is that correct?
You do not need to have the decent espresso machine to use this. Any espresso machine that you have, the puck rake is going to help you improve the quality. Now, we developed this thing, and the reason we know all these things about 0.6, 0.3 is because the machine is telling us faster flow rates, channeling, all this good stuff that frankly no one else knows.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons we're able to develop all these fancy accessories, because we've got visibility on the espresso that other people don't have.
Right.
We've got a superpower. All right. So what I'm going to do here, this by the way is our funnel, which we're going to make another separate video about.
Magnets on it?
It has magnets on it, that's right. Keep it away from your pacemaker. All right, so we're gonna measure out 15 grams. So this is my routine, doesn't have to be your routine, but I put the beans in like that.
Okay.
I put the funnel in. If you've got a different grinder, do as you like. Okay. we are now watching the mountain grow. The reason we've got a funnel on this is that if you don't have a funnel, some of those coffee grounds are going to go this side.
Yeah.
And we have weighed 15 grams, so we don't want to waste anything.
Yeah.
And as this camera right here can attest to, we can see some of the coffee has stuck to the side. And
Right.
if
That would have fallen.
that would have sprayed all over.
Yeah.
But it makes
Okay.
a mess.
Yeah, and you're also losing.
That's right. So there is our mountain. I'm going to take the funnel off for a second, and you can see there's a bunch of issues there, right?
Yeah.
Our mountain is leaning this way. There's
Yeah.
a big gap here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I were to be a gross person and use my finger to do that, what would happen is actually I would create a compression on this end. So it might look flat on top, but it wouldn't be.
Right.
Another really common way to fix this is this tool that's like a screw top. You put it on and spin.
Yeah.
The problem is that thing has got a screw pattern, and as soon as you put it on, it's making a compression in the shape of that. So it makes beautiful pucks that pass barista contests,
Yeah.
but it does not make good coffee. And lots of studies show that.
I am pretty sure some people will give you some stuff for that.
Some grief.
Yeah,
Okay.
some grief.
So here is the puck rake, and there's lots of different techniques.
Yeah.
But basically what I want to do is I want to just push that over. I'm doing this way slower than I really would in real life. Okay.
So you're not going all the way to the end of the puck, right?
Right, I just want to take that mountaintop and smooth it out.
That's it.
That is all I want to do. Now, this is puck raking, which is not the same thing as WDT. Now, WDT is going to be going in deep.
Oh, so that's what I was asking. Okay.
And stirring it around. Now, the advantage of WDT is by going in deep, you are breaking up any clumps. But this is a really good grinder, and you can see at the beginning there were no clumps.
Right.
So clumps are not really a problem for us. But if you've got a grinder that isn't as good,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to worry about that. Okay? And in terms of studies go, if you go into deep WDT and you do it well,
Yeah.
it is slightly better than puck raking. Okay? However, if you do it badly, you screw everything up.
Why?
So, well, a lot of people use tools that are a lot thicker.
I see.
Okay?
I see.
And if you go
That's what
deep,
you mentioned earlier.
you are actually creating crevices. Now, as I'm going through here, and hopefully this is visible on the camera, you can see it is moving the grounds, but largely the needles are just passing through.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going back and forth, and see how many times it takes to actually do something bad?
Yeah, create
Right?
damage. Yeah.
So this is a really gentle tool because the cloud that's there is already okay.
You still look pretty fluffy.
Yeah, and that's what you want, is a fluffy cloud with no density.
Right.
Now, the technique is to hold the funnel and just do one light tap, and then you lift.
Okay.
Okay? And when you lift, you look to see, where could I do better?
Yeah.
Okay? And I could do a little bit better here.
Yeah.
And this is essentially about getting better at your craft. But overall, it's pretty even, except for this spot here that's a little bit low.
Right.
Now, you can totally, at this point,
Go back and Okay.
and stir it around. Okay? And then try and do better.
So you tap again.
And then I do one tap because
Okay.
I've just fluffed it again.
Right. Okay.
And that is pretty close to perfect now.
Yeah.
It's really even, really fluffy, no granules, looks
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, you should use some
gonna
sort
do
of leveling
air
tamper.
tamping?
I am not going to air tamp. You absolutely want to be on a countertop so you're absolutely flat.
Okay.
So if you're not using a leveling tamper, well, shame on you. You don't have to buy ours, but do get a leveling tamper because at this point, if you tilt when you're going to undo all this great work you've done.
So if you tilt, basically the tamper fixes that mistake for you.
Yes.
Okay.
But the tamper will not fix the grounds being uneven.
Of course.
And this is, well, you say of course, but a lot of people don't realize that. They take a mountain that's lopsided,
Yeah.
and then they tamp it,
Yeah.
and they think that, oh, it's
Oh,
flat
it's
now.
flat. Okay, I see.
But actually what's happened is the center is ultra dense and the edge is not. Now,
yeah.
here's how you can tell. This is a bottomless portafilter basket, and if
Yeah.
I make an espresso now,
Yeah.
if I had a mountain that I just squished, the espresso would start from the outer ring.
Right.
And then it would slowly make its way to the center. Now, most people's espresso look like that.
yeah, okay.
It's called a donut extraction
Okay.
from the outside in. Now, you don't want a donut extraction. If you do this right, the beginning of your espresso will start everywhere evenly.
Huh.
Okay? And then
Wow.
it'll taste way better. Now,
Yeah.
the reason that's important is an espresso is about 30 seconds long. And if it takes several seconds for the water to go here to here, then actually this is going to be extracted 5 to 10 seconds longer than the center.
Yeah, and then you get that Yeah,
So,
over-extracted bitterness.
That's right. The outside donut is over-extracted. The inside is under-extracted.
Yeah.
People then go, ooh, it doesn't taste right. So I'm going to make a 22-second espresso.
Yeah.
So what they're actually doing is taking that entire dose of coffee and just making an espresso from the outside donut. And not using the center at all because it was too dense.
Okay.
These are all bad things.
Yeah.
So this puck rake, just to review, is helping you fix the distribution of grounds. Because the goal is to get a really even distribution.
Yeah.
And if you do that well, your espresso will be better. You know that you need this if you have a bottomless portafilter and you see espressos start as donuts. If you have those donut extractions, you can make better espresso for so little money. It's really worth it.
Can you make it at home? Can you make it DIY? Can you?
So if you
3D
go
print
online,
it?
you don't have to 3D print it. If
There
you have
you
a
go.
wine cork, then go online and buy yourself a set of acupuncture needles, 0.4 millimeters. And you can drill holes in there and arrange these however you want. It'll be super ugly, but it will actually be the same thing as this.
You are welcome. You don't have to buy it.
You do not have to buy it. Or make it yourself.
Yeah.
And then if you like it, then buy something a little less ugly.
Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah, but in
Great.
fact, that is how we prototyped having this pattern here as opposed to having 4 in a square, this little diamond pattern.
Yeah.
Okay? And well, try what you like. Now, I'll mention
Great.
one other thing is I'm really into repairability. Right? And I have told you how to make this. I've also told you how we make it. These are acupuncture needles. You can buy these online. They're not expensive. So if you screw up and you smash this and you bend it, you buy yourself new acupuncture needles and you just pull this right out. It's in a little plastic tube sleeve and you can slide a new acupuncture needle in and cut it off. So this thing should last forever. And if for some reason you do not realize the wisdom of my decision on 0.4 millimeters. For example, my obviously wrong engineer, Ben Champion, he swears by 0.35 millimeters, but I'm the boss, so we made 0.4. If for
Nice.
some reason you think he's right, don't tell me, but you can buy 0.35 millimeter acupuncture needles and put them in. Don't tell me and I won't mind.
All right, I want a coffee.
You want a coffee?
Let's
All right.
wrap this up.
Okay, let us take this portafilter and we're going to make a coffee right now.